No chemicals or preservatives, just 100% honest to goodness hickory smoked meat.
Let's put another shrimp on the barbie.
Boy, some chicken wings have really hit the spot.
You ain't got no better food, like some chicken wings, some baby back ribs, some fries or something?
It's just two guys talking, am I right? We're just talking.
Hey, howdy, hey. Back in the pit.
In the pit.
Welcome to Fat Guys with Smokers, the #1 barbecue podcast, undisputed heavyweight champion in the northern Utah area.
Mic drop.
Yes. For those of you listening at home, John just dropped the mic symbolically. It was awesome.
That I did.
It's good to be here. It feels like it's been forever. Last week we were busy getting ready for stuff, and then yeah.
So, and I guess apologies. Last time we recorded was actually 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a stomach bug. And I was down, out for the count for like 36 hours. So in my fever-induced hallucinations, I thought I had posted the episode. And Mike is just too nice for his own good to call me out and say, where the crap is it?
Well, I mean, here's the story. We record, and I never think about it. And magically it appears, you know? So,
yeah. So anyways, I didn't post it. But luckily, we got busy last week. We did Heritage Days in Nibley, had a booth and sold some sandwiches, which we'll talk a lot about tonight.
Heck yeah.
And we just didn't have time to record, so it worked out because we had an episode in the queue. So we dropped it. It's been 2 weeks since Mike and I have been together to record like this.
Oh, yeah. I guess for you all, it's only been 1 week.
But it's only been a week for everybody else.
That's right.
So, and I'm just wrapping up a conversation with meter customer service. I had an issue with my meter block.
John has been texting so many F words to these meter customer service people who are just trying to help him.
Fabulous,
just trying to be
food,
nice.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's what I saw you writing. Just kidding. I'm sure you're being very nice and professional.
I have been. I don't know whether to love or hate chat tech support. It's great because it's normally faster. You get a response quicker than waiting on the line for someone to answer, but it has been an hour of texting back and forth and sending pictures, but I finally have a warranty replacement on the way.
Oh, there you go.
So, happy about that.
Well done, meter tech support.
Yeah, and meter customer service has actually been fantastic. I also had an issue. Apparently, it was user error. The way I was pulling my probes out of the meat caused the probe to come apart.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Do tell.
Early on, you weren't supposed to like twist them to pull them out.
Oh.
You were supposed to just pull straight out, and if you needed to, you could actually push it in further and then pull it out.
Oh.
Because you kind of get almost like a crust that builds up around the edge of the probe.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I pulled that black tip all the way off of my silver probe.
Oh, wow. See, I thought you were supposed to twist.
The directions now say to twist.
Right, that's what I was going to say. That's what I did, and it was scary.
Yeah, but anyways. They were super cool, helped me out, sent me out a new one then. Took a little while tonight, but they're sending me a new one because one of those probes has to be like within 6 inches of the block to get a signal.
Freaking probe number 3, man.
Yep, but
what are you going to do?
It's all good. It's been a good exchange. It just took a little while.
Yeah. Well, we are going to talk about the booth quite a bit, but before we do that, have you done any other cooks that we need to debrief a little bit?
Good grief, it feels like all I've been doing lately is cooking.
Yeah.
because I did a bunch for Young Men's Camp. I think we talked about that last time, though.
Yep.
And then we did the booth. I smoked another pork shoulder today for some friends that weren't able to get their pork.
Well done.
Because we sold out.
We did.
Heyo.
Heyo.
Thanks to Mike. Otherwise, we would have had a ton of pork left if John had been left to plan.
Well,
so
we would have been fine.
That's why we work in partners. Let's see. I just got asked to help with a cook for Sunday.
Nice.
So I've got another 6 to 8 pork shoulders to cook for that.
Oh, right on. What's that for?
A missionary farewell.
Oh, very fun.
Yeah.
6 to 8 pork shoulders? How many people are going to be there?
Somewhere between 100 and 150 were the early counts.
Good heavens.
Big family.
Holy cow.
Which, I mean, I get it. I mean, when all of Haley's family shows up, I mean, that's 35, 40 people. And then you add another side of a family. And,
Yeah.
you know, you get to 80, and then a couple of kids show up with friends. And
Yeah, that's true.
you can get to 100 pretty quick. So,
True that.
anyways, yeah, I got a call from across the street saying, "Hey, you ever cook for big groups?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Do I ever?
Yeah, on occasion. So, but I'm excited to be able to help with that. So,
Yeah, very cool.
but, oh, you know what? We haven't even talked about this yet. So, is it Cache Valley Custom Meats, I think? You remember where Horlockers used to be?
Uh-huh.
So a new group bought out Horlockers, and I'm pretty sure it's Cache Valley Custom Meats.
Okay.
But it's in Logan on, what is that, like 7th?
Like by where A&W used to be, right? Yeah, I think 7th
On the other corner.
sounds
Yeah,
right.
on the south corner. I think it's 7th North in Maine. Kind of tucked in the back, there's a butcher shop, and they do game processing and whole beefs and stuff. But I went in there looking for a beef shank because I desperately want to do a Thor's hammer.
Interesting. Did you find one?
I found pieces of beef shank. He's like, yeah, it's been weird. Like, just in the last couple of days, I've had 3 or 4 guys come in looking for whole beef shanks.
Who did a video on it that...
I don't know.
Interesting.
But anyways, so I'm on the hunt for a beef shank.
I've never been in there. Are they pretty cool?
Yeah, so I had only been in there when it was Horlockers. And maybe I caught them on an off day, maybe not. But, like, I walked in and was just like, nope, not buying anything here. It was real dingy, and the lights were, like, half burnt out, and everything was that, like, yellow almond tile color that they used to have in the 70s. And I just, like, had a funky smell, so I kind of swore it off at that point. Went in today, like, bright, clean, still an older building, but, like, clean shop. They do, like, their own bratwurst. They've got, like, 7 or 8 different flavors of bratwurst.
Okay.
Their cooler was down, so they didn't have any today. But I'm excited to go back and try that. And then they also do 4 or 5 different types of, like, snack sticks and beef jerky.
And jerky, huh?
Yeah. So
Cache Custom Meats.
I think so.
There you have it. Our shout out for today.
I will look it up.
I'll phone it up as well. Cache Custom Meats.
Yeah, let's see.
And custom cutting. Cache Valley Meats and custom cutting.
Is that what it is?
Looks like it. Yep. Across from Angie's, right?
Yep.
Cache Valley Meats and custom cutting. Right on. Well, I'm going to have to check it out. I'll be honest, butcher shops kind of intimidate me. That's why I like going to just like Sam's Club or Costco. Because I know what I'm looking for there. I know what it looks like.
Nobody's going to talk to you.
Exactly. Nobody's going to judge me. I hate acting like I don't know what I'm talking about. So if I go up to the counter and I'm like, hey, I would like this piece of meat, please. And they ask me more questions that I was not prepared for. Then I panic and just never mind and walk away.
No.
So.
The guy there was super cool, like friendly, easy to talk to. So, yeah, I think that's definitely something.
Tell us what a Thor's hammer is.
So beef shank, beef leg,
Yeah.
that you French the bone, so you've got it like bare bone sticking out, and this big round piece of meat down at the bottom.
Okay.
And it looks like a big
Is it like the
hammer.
femur bone?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So huge bone. My dog would probably love that.
Yeah, big bone, 2 inches across. Mm-hmm. But then you smoke it, and I think the cool videos all have, like, you take this big Thor's hammer and you drop it into this massive pile of mac and cheese, and it's covered in barbecue sauce. And
What do you do with the rest of the meat on the shank?
You can save it for grind or smoke it up separately.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever looked at... I've seen them, but I've never really looked into it very much.
Yeah. So there are a couple other butcher shops in town that I may head up in the next week or so trying to find it. But
Right on. Well, keep us posted, because
Yeah.
I'm interested to see which one is the most user-friendly, if you will.
yeah, that one has been the least intimidating of the ones I've ever been into.
Yeah.
Haley says I'm too mean on the podcast, so I'm not going to say who it was. But I did go to one butcher shop, and like I even looked up what I was going to ask for, because same thing, I was like kind of intimidated to go in, and like walked out of there just feeling like a total moron. Eventually got what I needed, but it was like almost like an argument of like, no, this is what I was like. Okay, dude, like you understand what I want. I don't care what you call it. Just sell it to me.
Want.
It's like the old joke about deer hunting in Utah.
What's that?
Well, for our non-Utah listeners, Utah, there's a lot of pressure on the public hunting grounds. Mm-hmm. Like lots of people go out, and you
see more orange than deer for sure.
Yeah. But the old joke is, a couple of guys get into an argument out there after someone shoots an animal, and they're going back and forth, and finally the guy that shot it, racks the action on his rifle, chambers around, and the guy finally just stops and says, "Dude, look, you can call it whatever you want. Can I just take my saddle off of it?"
That's pretty funny. Yeah. Well, listen, Haley, we are nothing if not authentic. So if John needs to be mean, you got to let him be mean. He's gunts to be mean. Did you ever watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
I did watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Have you seen the one where they're talking about the turtles? And she's like, "Come on, Terry, they're in a sewer. He's gunts to think about the turtles." It's really funny.
I've only watched that once.
Yeah.
It's not like New Girl where I've watched it 17 times.
I'm kind of the same way, but I have seen that clip come up a bunch of times. So, on Sunday, my wife, shout out to her, she made a rub.
Ooh.
Yeah, she made pork chops just in the air fryer, but she made a rub that was one of the better rubs that I've ever had.
Nice. Do tell, what's in it?
I don't know, because I asked her for the recipe, and she said, "I don't know." And I said, "Well, where did you find it?" "Online." It's like, "Well, can I look at the recipe?" "No, I can't find it." And then she texted it to me, but then she was like, "I don't know if that was the right one." So whatever she did was amazing, but it will go with her to her grave, apparently, because she refuses to, maybe she's going to market it. I don't know.
One, awesome.
Yeah.
Two, and as long as she's going to make it, who cares if you know what's in it?
Seriously. I mean, I'm not going to fight her on it. It was seriously so good, though.
It's like,
so good.
You watch Everybody Loves Raymond?
I've seen parts of it.
Deborah, Ray's wife, asked Marie for her, I think it's her marinara or spaghetti sauce recipe or something. And Marie changes one of the ingredients, and it's just terrible. And she's like, changed the label on the bottle. And
dude, that's how, did you ever watch the Dick Van Dyke Show?
Uh-huh.
There's an episode where Laura Petrie, refuses to give her recipe to somebody. So she'll leave out an ingredient, or kind of the same deal, just so that it's hers forever. So my mom always says that. She Laura Petried me. I don't know what it is. Anyway,
that's funny.
That's pretty good.
That's awesome.
So, anyway, shout out to our wives.
Yeah.
John, let's talk about the booth.
Oh, my gosh. So, for anyone who doesn't know, like most towns, Nibley has a has an annual festival. It's like the city
Celebration. I
Yeah,
don't know
celebration of
what
the
you
city.
call it. City holiday. I don't know.
Yeah, city holiday. I like that.
Sure.
We've got lots of them here in the valley. Richmond has Black and White Days.
Trout and Berry Days in Paradise. That's my favorite name.
Smithfield has the Health Days.
Yeah.
Super weird.
Super weird.
Well, it's just weird. Like, I'm all about encouraging public health, but
Right.
to name your city festival after it,
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
a little weird.
I'm with you.
One of my personal favorites is Providence and their sauerkraut days.
Mm-hmm.
So,
There it is.
yeah, I actually got a history lesson on sauerkraut days today.
Go on.
So, years ago, the members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, formerly known as the Mormons, when a new chapel needed to be built, it, like back in the 60s and 80s and stuff, like it was on the local members to
Like
fund.
the 1960s and 1980s? Oh, really?
Yeah. Like when our parents were kids.
Yeah, I remember my mom telling that.
They were responsible for funding the construction of a new building.
Mm-hmm.
And that was what the Providence Ward did. Like when something needed to be built, they sold sauerkraut.
Really? I didn't know that. That's way
And it continued on as the city festival. And it was only like in the last 5 or 10 years or so that the FDA came in and was like, whoa, guys, you can't be just like mass producing food to sell in a dirty old barn. So now it's contracted and done in a commercial kitchen. Much more FDA.
Lame. Freaking FDA.
But
Guidelines.
anyways, it's really good sauerkraut if you like it. If you like sauerkraut, it may or may not be about 50% bacon.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think I've had sauerkraut with bacon.
That's
great.
That's what my buddy was telling me today.
Huh.
I haven't had it, and it's probably been 10 years since I've been to sauerkraut days, but I will be going back after that description.
Yeah. Color me intrigued.
Yeah. So Nibley had their Heritage Days, and last year, much to Mike's chagrin, we were in the parade.
I hated the parade, you guys.
The
I appreciate all the kind words and all the work John went to set it up, but I hated being in the parade.
The parade was great. We sat on a trailer in Burka loungers as somebody drove us through, and all we had to do was wave. That's all we had to do.
That's true. All of those things happened.
It was pretty easy. People loved us. I think the hardest thing we did was we did have one of Mike's drums rolling smoke with some onions on it.
Yeah, it smelled really good.
It did.
And then everybody would say to us, are you going to give us any free samples?
Yeah. Throw the ribs.
Yeah.
Which honestly would be kind of hilarious.
That would be just chucking full racks of ribs at people. That'd be awesome.
Throwing baby back ribs. You see someone you don't like, get the beef rib.
That's awesome.
Anyways, so this year we still want to be part of the town, and I think Nibley's actually a pretty cool place. It
really is. They do a good job.
It's really enjoyable to be a part of the community.
Yeah.
So we, that was weird. I wonder if that's going to show up in the video. There was a giant thumbs up on the screen. Did you see that?
I didn't see it.
It's like an emoji on
Are we live right now and people are thumbs upping us as we talk?
Nope, definitely not live.
Well, thumbs up to you, computer.
Yeah. Anyways, so we wanted to do something. So we went to the family festival.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I'm not even sure what it was.
Yeah.
But they had a little fair in the park.
After the parade.
After the parade, bunch of games and stuff, and we had a 12 by 24-ish space.
Yeah.
That we went. We had pulled pork sandwiches. We also had hot dogs, chips, and some sodas, and we brought Mike's big offset. Brought Rosie and fired her up, and had the Weber kettle to cook the hot dogs on, and it was actually a lot of fun.
It was way cool, actually. I mean, I was a little bit stressed about it, but everything came together. It worked out really good. We didn't know how much to get. I feel like that was a topic of conversation for weeks leading up to it.
Yeah. Yeah, so we were told that in years past they had about 1,500 people come through, which I think checks.
Yeah, probably. Maybe a little less.
Maybe a little less.
I don't know.
But anyways, so they said 1,500 people, and I said, okay, 1,500 people, but like how many were buying food?
Right.
And then we also didn't know who else was coming until like a couple of days beforehand.
Right.
And there were some other pretty cool food vendors there.
Yeah, way awesome.
Yeah, Chef D's, which is they do Philly cheesesteaks here in the Valley. If you haven't tried them, you definitely should.
They're over in Wellsville, aren't they?
Yeah, they just moved to Wellsville.
I want to check them out.
Yeah, I went to them while they were in Logan, and they were really good. There was a mac and cheese truck, which I really wanted to get over and try.
Yeah.
And just didn't have time. And then there was a Caribbean food place and a fried chicken place.
A lot of like fruity drinks, specialty drinks. What was that one next to us? Snow cone type of deal.
Yeah, snow cone.
Yeah.
Oh, and there was another, like a real barbecue caterer there too.
Yeah.
Like had a big, I don't know, it was probably a 18, 20-foot trailer that they had. Yoder.
Legit truck.
Yeah. Yoder smokers on the back of.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we went and we freaking crushed it.
Dude, it was way fun, and we did really well. I think my favorite John quote of the weekend was when we were shopping, and we were still trying to figure out what to get. We're just talking about other things that we would need. And John's like, well, I'll need a camp chair because for when we either sell out and have nothing to offer, or we don't want to stand under our tarp in shame begging people to come and buy our food. So I was a little concerned about that, but it worked out good.
Yeah.
And I think that the amount that we decided to get actually ended up being pretty well perfect. There's a couple things that we said we would change a little bit, but
yeah. So we decided we were going to do 200 sandwiches.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we were pretty close to that.
Yeah.
Because we said 200, and then we bought, I think, 7 pork shoulders, which on average you can normally get about 30 sandwiches out of a pork shoulder.
Yeah.
So
here's the story. At the beginning, it was very sparse because people were not ready to eat lunch at 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
And so when someone would order, I was putting the meat on the sandwiches, and I think I was going a little heavy. So I was like, dude, if this is all we're going to get, like, I do not want to take 7 pork shoulders home in the freezer.
Yeah.
But I think if I would have been a little bit more consistent that way, we probably would have sold a few more, I think. But
yeah, I think we ended up selling about 175, 180 sandwiches. And then we had 80, was it 80 hot dogs?
80 hot dogs.
80 hot dogs, and the hot dogs were gone super fast.
Yeah. Shout out to Whitney. That was her idea.
Yeah.
She hasn't let me forget it.
So, a couple of things that I think made us really successful as we did this. One, like, we did this for fun. So, we wanted to cover our costs and maybe put a little bit of money in our pocket.
Yeah.
We actually made way more money than I anticipated us making.
Yeah, dude. I was planning on us covering the losses, honestly. So.
Yeah. But so we set prices really low. We were selling our sandwiches for $5. The other barbecue vendor was selling sandwiches for $9. So we probably could have taken the prices up, but it was awesome just to see and interact with a ton of people.
And I think that was kind of our goal, was to get the name of the podcast out there, serve some food, do what we love. And so, yeah, I think just like you said, we weren't at it to make money. We did make some money, but it was mostly just super fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to go out. And the other fun thing was, Robbie was in, my middle boy was there helping most of the time. And then your oldest, Damon was there.
Damon was in there.
And it was cool to see them, like, working and, like, getting a little stressed out.
They were into it. It was kind of fun.
Yeah. So they were all over drinks and chips, and we had a good time.
We had a good system, too. I don't know how it all just kind of fell into place, but, John obviously handled talking to people. I ran the grill, and it was super hot, but it was fine.
Oh my gosh, there was an excessive heat warning. It was 97 degrees.
So we just, slaving over an open flame. It was a good time. No, it was good, though. And I feel like we handled it pretty well. Like, we were pretty fast. A lot of people, would order and then be like, oh, it's already done over on the side there. So.
Well, yeah, it was funny. So I was taking orders and writing them on pieces of paper, and Haley and Whitney were behind me. Mm-hmm. And I think they were listening to orders.
Yep.
Because I'd turn around and they already had the buns out. You had put meat on half of them, and they were turning around. I was like, okay, what do I do with the ticket, though? Like, I have this paper. I have to give it to somebody. So, I guess, Mike, words of advice. If someone were to really want to do this, they wanted to go have a food booth at a fair.
I would say do it. First of all, I mean, you dealt with a lot of the emails. There wasn't a ton of red tape. You had to have a food handler's permit. You had to have a couple other things. It wasn't a big deal, and
I didn't think
it was fun.
Yeah, I didn't think it was hard.
Yeah, it wasn't hard to set up. I will say, I don't really have any words of advice as far as guessing how much you're going to need. I think we got a little bit lucky because, like you said, we were either going to have a ton or we were going to sell out in the first couple hours, and we kind of hit the sweet spot, I feel like.
Yeah, I think weather plays in a huge part. And then, just talk to the event coordinators. Shout out to Allie at Nibley City. She did an awesome job.
Yeah. Super friendly, too, on a super stressful day for her, I'm sure.
Yeah, this was either her first or second time doing it, I think. So she didn't have a lot of context to really even be able to share it with us, but everything she had, she did share with us, which was really helpful.
Yeah, and which was kind of enough for us to have a general idea.
Yeah. But I think also having enough people to help was really important for us.
Yeah, if it was just the two of us,
it would have been Irv all over again, and we would have been shanking people.
We would have been shanking each other and people. We, excuse me, before it even started, somebody came up. We had just been, it was supposed to officially start at 10:30. I feel like the guy came up at 10:20 or something. And he was just another vendor, and we thought he was just going to, talk to us about it. And suddenly he's like, okay, well, I'll take 2 sandwiches. And I'm like, oh, crap, we don't even have anything out yet. So, anyway.
Yeah.
I was a little stressed until everybody else showed up, and then it was really quite a slick operation. It wasn't super stressful. It was just we had a good system.
So I think have enough people and surface space. I think that was one of the things that actually really helped.
Yeah.
We had 3 or 4 big tables out. So we had lots of room to set things and stay organized, and that was really helpful.
That was helpful. That's a very good point. And we had, and we also had a condiment table. There was just enough space that we weren't on top of each other. And we could have Damon and Robbie deal with drinks and chips and not be in the way of the person taking the orders. And
yeah, I can't imagine if you had tried to, had we tried to smash all of that into one spot.
Yeah. Wouldn't have been good.
No,
sure.
Things would have been said.
Yeah. But I would just say be confident and have fun with it, because I always get a little nervous when we're cooking for a crowd, and especially charging money. I think this is the first time that I've ever actually been hey, pay me for the food I'm going to cook you. So I was a little nervous, but people loved it. We got a lot of really good feedback, and maybe people were just being nice, but they didn't have to say anything. So
yeah, our families came through, and friends came over. I had one of my, professional mentors and really good close friend came up out of Bountiful.
Yeah.
Just to see us. And of course, he's going to say nice things.
Right.
And his wife's going to say nice things about what we're doing. But the random people, I was getting text messages from all sorts of people. A couple of days after, oh, that was so good. Thanks so much.
Yeah. It was sweet.
Just do it. Have fun. But have a plan, I think. That was the other thing.
Well, and we really, you're a very good planner, and we had been talking and thinking this through since when did we decide to do this? Like January, I feel like.
Yeah.
We were like,
yeah, it's been a while.
And so we kind of had some general things, but really put it together, and I think it went really well.
Yeah. So here's the big question. Robbie has been asking me at least 17 times a day. Are we going to Hiram's 4th of July?
I don't know, John. It's going to be so hot.
It is. I actually don't even know if there's still time to get into it. Did you know the 4th of July is next week?
Right? Seriously. I bet there's not. They're probably all set.
I hope so. I hope that can be our excuse.
Let's just use that excuse. I wouldn't mind doing it again. It was a good time. I think we would have to, I mean, depending on the event, I don't know that I want to do like the fair, you know, where you're there for 3 days and you just, ugh, that sounds miserable. But something fun like Heritage Days, I think it'd be fun. My concern is, and I think we're both kind of on the same page as far as we're just trying to promote the podcast. You know, we're just two fat guys having a good time. And so our prices are so low, I'm a little concerned that we undercut the competition and they're going to be so pissed. You know what I mean? So I don't know that I really want to follow them around and steal all their business if that's how they're feeding their family. And we're just a couple of dudes like, hey, this would be fun. Let's charge $5 for a sandwich.
Hey, man, if we, even if we charged like $6, we do this a couple of times. We'll have some money for that offset.
Seriously, that is a good point, actually.
Yeah. I guess that was one other thing that I was really worried about. That maybe everybody knows this. I was worried about how to take payments, like cash and Venmo, easy.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that.
That played a little bit into our pricing. Everything where
it
was whole dollars.
Yeah.
Like Sam's Club water, definitely not worth $1, but I was not going to charge 50 cents for it and try and...
We're not keeping track of quarters, for sure.
But you can take credit card payments without any additional hardware other than an iPhone now.
Oh, really? So you don't even need a Square?
Yeah, so I used Square.
Okay.
That was the platform.
Uh-huh.
But you know how you just like go and you tap to pay at the store?
Uh-huh.
We took credit cards, and I mean, it's a good thing we did. I mean, we did several $100s worth of transactions on credit card, but they just pulled their card out or did Apple Pay and held it against the end of my phone.
Oh, interesting. And that was the Square app that you used.
Yeah. So you pay fees, and there's lots of different apps out there, but you can take credit card payments on your phone. How cool is that?
Right on. That's fancy. Because you used to have the Square that you plugged into your phone.
You had that you
swipe
you swiped, or they've got a Bluetooth one that you can tap on or use the chip.
But you don't need that now.
Everybody's got tap now. I think that's like a standard protocol.
Yeah, for sure.
So, so probably not going to do Hiram.
Yeah.
It really just hit me while we were talking about this that is 4th next of July week.
Next week, yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
But any thoughts on a cook? What do you want to do for the 4th?
My family has asked me to do a pork shoulder for them. So, I guess I'll do that.
Yeah.
But I also kind of want to do, I don't know. The 4th is always so busy because Hiram, all these cities in the valley have their festivals. Hiram's is the 4th of July.
Yeah.
And that's where both me and my wife's family's from. Mm-hmm. And so there's all kinds of things going on that we try to be to. And so it's hard to, cook something, be back and forth and stuff. So I'll probably just do the pork shoulder, but I do like to mix it up and try some different appetizers or something. So we'll see.
Yeah. Real talk, Mike. Do you ever get bored of pork shoulders?
Yes. So bored. When they were like, "Do you want to do a pork shoulder?"
For those who didn't hear that, Mike said yes.
Listen. They're delicious. They're easy. They're low cost, and they feed a ton of people. So I understand, but
in the last month, just the ones that I know of off the top of my head, you and I have cooked like 25 or 30 pork shoulders.
Yeah,
in the last month.
Yeah. Yes, sir. We sure have.
And that doesn't count the one I did today, the 6 to 8 I'll do this weekend.
We were going to do a sticker chart. We still should. We should hang it behind
yeah.
here. And we put a sticker for every pork shoulder that we
I need to go back and count before I can't remember them all.
Yeah. We'll get smiley face stickers. Yeah, no hate for pork shoulders. It's great, and I understand why everybody likes it. And
I don't get bored of eating it.
No, absolutely not.
You can do so many different things with a pork shoulder.
Yeah.
From putting it on pizzas. Calm down, pilot. But from putting it on pizzas, making nachos, pork sandwiches, salad, you can do so many different things with it. It's just so boring to cook.
Yeah.
Well,
and maybe that's because it's so easy.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, it's pretty simple, especially if you're using a pellet grill. You put it on there night before, you don't even worry about it, really. So.
Yeah. And we should remember, it's super easy now.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a good point.
One, there's YouTube now, so I think it's a lot easier than when I got into smoking. But you can go and read about that story.
Oh, dude, I forgot about my Brinkman story.
Yeah, I was gonna segue into that. You can read about my first experience on the website fatguyswithsmokers.com. Oh yeah.
Hey.
So you can go check that out. But man, I destroyed a couple of pork shoulders and almost gave up on smoking because I screwed them up so bad.
Yeah.
But I blame the Brinkman. But I haven't ranted about Brinkman in a while. You had your Brinkman experience that you should talk about.
Dude,
but I want you to know I have seen 2 or 3 Brinkman charcoal grills, charcoal smokers on Facebook Marketplace for $30 that I've been tempted to buy. Just
I
to
thought you were gonna say you troll them hard, don't buy this.
No, I've been tempted to buy one. Now that I know what I'm doing, to see if I could actually pull it off with one. But go ahead, tell your story.
Well, shout out to my buddy Derek. He found a Brinkman on Facebook, and I'm pretty sure he got it a pretty good deal on it because he had asked about it and then never heard back. And a month later, he saw it again, and so he's like, "Hey, is this still available?" And I think he got it for free, but maybe he got it for pretty cheap. But super cool, propane. I'm pretty sure. It's been well loved. There's the burner, and then what's not the deflector plate, but you know what I'm talking about?
The water pan?
No, a Camp Chef has them. It comes up and it is a the things that they sit on. I don't know what it's called. Anyway, it was rusted and didn't exist anyway. So.
Oh, the grate that you'd put a pot on or something?
Yes, that thing. But I can't remember what it's called. They had a fancy name for it. But anyway, super cool. So I do landscaping during the summer. And so Friday, we'd been hyping this up all week. We're like, dude, Friday we're going to fire up that smoker and just see what happens. And it was super fun because I'd never actually used a propane smoker. My buddy had one, so I was texting him off and on the whole day. Alex, shout out to Alex for his help. But anyway, we just threw some wood chips in a pan, and we got 2 fire bricks and put it in the bottom because the thing was all burned out, and then just lit it up, and we cooked some spare ribs, and it was a learning experience. It was rough, and the problem was we just didn't leave ourselves enough time. I think if we'd have given them another hour, they would have been good because the flavor was so good. My buddy had Heath Ryle's peach barbecue rub. Oh my gosh, man, it was good. These were definitely not fall off the bone when we eventually were just pull them off. Let's just eat so we can get back to work, So they were pretty tough. The flavor was good. And, obviously, our temperature got above. It wasn't going to kill anybody. But I'm not sure how I feel about the propane smoker. Now, granted, this is an older one. It's seen things. So I'm going to have to, I think we're going to play with it a little bit more and see if we can figure out how to do it a little bit more efficiently. But, I thought of you the whole time because it is a Brinkman. And so every like hiccup we ran into, or every time I couldn't like figure out why it wasn't coming up to temperature, I just thought of John opening and closing the dampers and spraying it with the spray bottle and stuff. But anyway.
Yeah. Yep, if you want to test your patience and see if you're a true man of God, get a Brinkman.
I don't know, dude. Maybe you dominate it now. Like, you've done some amazing things with the drum. I bet you're a different man.
Yeah, trust me. I was a changed man after that experience. I know. I kind of want to just to see what I could pull off.
That'd be a fun video. John's redemption. Dun dun dun. I want in on it though.
John's redemption, or it'll end up with a clip of me, as my kids would say, yeeting it into the landfill. Yeet!
I'm picturing like the Scottish log throw. You're just like, that's awesome.
Oh, Brinkman. I really want Brinkman to like hear this one day and be like, we need to make peace with this guy and like come out and challenge me.
Oh,
that'd be awesome. So, alrighty. Well, it's officially past Mike's bedtime.
It is. I'm sorry. I yawned.
It's been fun. It's been too long. Thank you to everyone who came out to Heritage Days and said hi.
Yeah, super fun, and it felt good to have people say they still listen to the podcast.
Right.
Because sometimes it's kind of like, is anybody still out there? You know.
Yeah, especially, and if you don't see an episode and we don't put something up on social media, for the love, email us, text us, throw Brinkmans in our front yards. Let us know.
I got 3 or 4 people that were like, "Hey, no episode this week," and I was like, "Oh, thanks."
I got nobody.
Well,
nobody, not even my co-host.
Like I said, I feel stupid being like, "Okay, John, see ya," and being like, "Hey, why isn't the episode posted yet?" So
nope.
I will be more Nazi about that.
Hit me up. Let's maybe not go that far. But until next time, I'm really fighting hard not to make Nazi jokes right now. Oh.
And I'm Mike.
And I'm John, hoping this doesn't get blocked on YouTube.
Oh, shoot.
Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for listening to the Fat Guys with Smokers podcast. Be sure to check us out on Instagram and Facebook. Leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Be sure to subscribe so you don't forget to tune in for even more nonsense from a couple of Fat Guys with Smokers.
Don't forget to like, subscribe.